Hello, another update. This time it's December 2022 and time for a vlog. I think I don't have much to say, but the main thing from my point of view is the launch of my new YouTube channel. Yes, the gameplay channel is up, and after searching on keywords and pondering it and stuff for ages, I've decided to call it AlphatucanaLetsPlay. All one word. Let's Play with no apostrophe and no space. So you can find it at www.youtube.com/@ the @ symbol AlphatucanaLetsPlay. I'll stick a link in the description if I remember. I hope I will. You just click it and go there. So if you're interested in gameplay videos, any new ones that I do are going to appear there. There's one series going up at the moment, which is Stranded Alien Dawn. So you crash land on a previously terraformed planet and you've got to survive. It's basically uninhabited by humans, more or less. And you've got to survive and you've got to get rescued as well. So that's the idea. It's turning into a lot of episodes because I'm showing the entire game and not just the highlights. Probably I would get more traction on my videos if I edited them, but I don't have the time. I'm at work all the time, you know. So, full-length videos, half-hour episodes, and we're up to episode... Well, I haven't uploaded them yet, but we're up past episode number 40 at the moment, I think. And on it goes. But hop over to the channel after this video, I guess, and watch a couple of videos, basically, or even switch to the playlist tab and just play, right? But just move the mouse every now and then as you go by, so that YouTube knows that you're still there, really. Okay, because it'll help the watch time. It'll help the channel a lot, especially as it's brand new. I can't monetize anything yet. You've got to wait 2 months for that. I could give YouTube some ID, you know, show them my driving license, take a picture of it and stuff like that, or I could... They even allow you to, like, use your phone to make a video of yourself, of your face, which they claim is identifying you, but they don't know what my face looks like, so it's garbage. It's not what they're doing. They're training their AI to recognize faces, including, obviously it would be mine if I did that. Which would be fine in a good world, but this is not a good world. It's not ruled by good people, so it won't necessarily be used for good purposes, as we can see in countries like China. Yeah, so all you're doing is training the AI to recognise your face and others. And they say they'll delete the data. Well, they won't need it after a month or two, or a year or two. So it's all just a bit of a... They used to do this in the old days with reading text. You know, those capture things that you still get on websites. Originally, they were used to teach AI how to read text when it's in lots of different fonts and typefaces. Because, like a letter A, okay, it can look like that, but it can also look like that, can't it? And it can also look like 100 other shapes. It can have little twiddly bits on it, it can have a side missing, or one slope and a crossbar but with the other side missing, and it still looks like an A to the human. But a machine would have a hard time with something like that. But those capture things, where they distorted the text and got humans to verify what they said, so that they could sign in and verify themselves to get into the website, they taught the AI how to read text. So now it's pretty good at that sort of thing. Currently they're getting quite good at voices, so a lot of websites of YouTube videos have human-like narration. It's still pretty... It's terrible at the expression, but they're getting the words right. They'll get there. And the pressure now is to recognise individual people. This can be good for convenience and ID type purposes, but it can be bad for inconvenience and ID type purposes. Because back in the old days when we used cash, it was anonymous. You just bought something and nobody had a record of who you were. You wanted it, you bought it, so what? Now we're moving over very soon to digital currencies. Your every purchase will be logged and used against you when need be. And when they don't like you, you won't be able to buy anything. Or you might be limited to buying absolute basics only or something like that. Or you might be given a cap. If you go over it, I don't know, they'll send you to jail or something. Social crediting and all this business. All these tools could be used for good, but they will be used for bad. I'm sure. There you go. Anyway, my channel will only be used for good by me. So there you go. Alphatucana Let's Play. Go and check it out after this video, please. And you can buy me a coffee at either channel at www.ko-fi.com/Alphatucana. So there. I think on the new channel it is going to be just gameplay or let's play videos basically. Some variation, I guess. I'm learning more about thumbnails by studying the results so far. It's been up for about a few days and I've been frantically uploading videos to get it going. But the most difficult bit is I'm trying to make the thumbnails better or more attractive to clickers. And I've noticed, yes, the videos where I think the thumbnail is better are getting watched more. I'll have to learn that skill, I suppose. I'm trying, you'll see when you look, but I'm not much good at it yet. If you have tips, let me know. What else? Oh yeah, okay, a peculiar smell started coming from my loft this week. I've had the week off work just to use up annual leave because Christmas is coming and we have to use up our annual leave or lose it eventually. I can carry the days forward, some of them, but I could do with a break, so I took a week off. But a peculiar smell started coming. I thought it was from the radiators at first, but it's not, it's the loft. I opened the door of the loft and there it was. Right. Probably there's a dead animal in there or something, I don't know. But the trouble is the loft is packed full of boxes and packing materials and all sorts of stuff like that, and it's a crawl space as well. You can't stand up in it, so I can't search it. It's full. So I've been meaning to for like years. Did a tidy up of it about 10 years ago and filled this room, my bedroom, with boxes up to my waist all over the floor and the furniture, and got rid of some and put the rest in the loft, back in the loft again. But now it's full again, like Amazon boxes and stuff like that, deliveries and things. Keep the boxes for stuff because in case you need to send them back, but then they just stay there forever, right? So I've got lots of old boxes. So I was off work. I felt like doing something, especially with the smell being an incentive, right? And I spent a morning tidying up. I filled up one full wheelie bin with compressed boxes, basically flattened boxes, flat packed, and stuck back because I don't need them. I'm not gonna. There was a plan once upon a time to sell stuff on eBay, but trial runs show that it wasn't really worth it. So lots of boxes. I'm better just take stuff to the charity shop and get rid of it, you know. Yeah, you make some pin money on eBay, but really it's nothing, unless you're going to do it professionally and drop ship and all the rest of it. And I've looked at that too, and the products are junk, which I don't want to be having made or selling. So that's that. Yeah, but unfortunately, clearing out one wheelie bin full of junk is not enough to clear the loft by any means at all. It's a lot more than that. And I have to leave the other wheelie bin free for other people in this building to use. There's about 10 flats in this building. And we have 2 recycle bins. So I've filled up one. It'll be emptied next Friday. Next week, in other words. So we have one for everybody for the following week, which should be enough. We usually fill up about 2 of them, 3/4 full, between us all. But what that made me think about, the reason I'm mentioning it, is that I have the week off work and I'm being paid because it's paid annual leave. This is different to when I've been, say, unemployed in the past. Then I didn't want to do anything, and the only pressure really was to find some work. Not to do stuff, to organise my life or anything like that. And generally I didn't. I'd go and find some work. Or just do nothing, even, literally. Well, apart from breathing and eating and stuff. So, the fact that I'm being paid means there's no stress. It's a holiday. I'm allowed to take the time off. So I do stuff. That's interesting. Psychologically. This is the psychology behind the proposed universal basic income. That if you give people enough to live on, sure, some people will just waste their money on Netflix, right? Or whatever their vice is. But other people will have an incentive to do things. So I launched my YouTube channel this week as well. I've been working on figuring out how to do better thumbnails, right? I cleared out the loft a little bit. These are actual active behaviours. So the sloth perhaps comes from not having some financial security. So there's a level of stress. And I don't want to deal with anything. And when there isn't, stuff gets done. Very interesting. I know a lot of people say the universal basic income will not work because it's inflationary. Yep. A lot of people say it's some means of controlling people because although it's supposed to be unconditional, you know it won't be unconditional. It will depend on something like a social credit score. It will be used against you with threat of withdrawing it or reduced payments if you're an undesirable, if you believe the wrong things or speak wrong think or something. The way the world is going, the way society or culture is going, the new generations no longer understand freedom or the reasons for the rights that people had in the past, so they will go. And so all these great conveniences will probably be used against anybody who sticks their neck out, I think. But I would like a universal basic income. I mean, I'm going to retire in, is it 3 years' time? Yeah, I think so. 2.5, 3 years? Something like that. And I will have a universal basic income, barely enough to live on, a pension, but that's fine. I will be able to do my YouTube channel, no problem, like that. Once my expenses are covered, and they're small, great. I can't live in London on a pension, because the rent will be 3 times my pension. So that's impossible. But that's okay, I have somewhere to go. Otherwise I'd have to carry on working. And I wonder if a lot of people will have to do that. Or get a universal basic income. Maybe. goodness knows what chaos is going to happen in society. I'm looking at my notes here. I mean, I think it is going to be chaos. The economy is plunging into its Great Depression that I mentioned a few weeks ago. Obviously, the governments of the world are not telling anybody, oh, it's all right, it's just a recession, it's all going to turn around in the spring, or maybe it'll last for 2 years and then it'll be all right. It amazes me that people don't see through these liars, somehow. I know Amazon announced about 10,000 job losses, hasn't it? We've had a number of companies announcing closures of stores in the UK. Marks & Sparks, L'Occitane, a few others, more in America. I think the same is happening across Europe, of course. Part of the problem has been that Charlie 19 thing, the fairy dust from a couple of years back. A lot of companies failed then because they were not set up to do without customers, obviously. And without the footfall on the streets, there was nothing they could do. Web demand, internet demand, is not as high as it was projected to be. So I think a recession is going to make that worse. People are going to start reducing their expenditure. Some people are already. Others might. And I think this is part of the Great Reset from the World Economic Forum. You can read about it on their website. These are the corporates who are in control of society, or under the control of the top 0.01%, the really wealthy who we never hear about. We know, because of the state of the environment, the way resources are running out, the general chaos from situations in Eastern Europe and Ukraine and things like that, the climate changing, a lot of crises going on. Resources are in short supply. The world population is outstripping our ability to satisfy demand. And this is particularly so with countries like the USA. If their consumption was projected worldwide, they would need 5 planet Earths to supply that standard of living. Sustainably. Sustainably, I suppose. So instead what we're doing is stripping the planet of resources. We don't even have enough resources to make solar cells in order to have solar power worldwide at the moment. We just don't have the resources. Or to make enough lithium batteries to store the power. So I think the cynical powers that be are saying we need to, on the good side, reduce demand. And the more cynical ones are probably thinking, well, maybe we need to reduce the population. So some people say that the Charlie 19 was an experiment. It has been pretty much proven now that it was an escapee from the woo-woo lab. Congress, I think it was, issued a report the other week spelling out the evidence. It's pretty conclusive. It's really damning, really. And there was something from a medical study indicating the same, and indicating that we were lied to by those with vested interests in lying to us. You can see both of those discussed on Dr. John Campbell's channel. He's got a couple of recent videos about it. He's a medical doctor who takes the conventional view on things, or at least evidence-based view. And so he's rather disappointed that we have been lied to. But he gives good information, always. as far as I can tell. Even when relaying information from the authorities which turned out to be disingenuous. So that's one way of reducing population. Of course, if the Ukraine situation gets out of hand, that's another way. I heard that Germany has, for example, and this is typical of the West, has 2 days' worth of ammunition for an all-out war. So you could see that any such war would have to go nuclear very quickly, because there would be no other way the West could defend itself. Or if not nuclear, maybe we've got some secret chemical weapons we can use or something like that. I don't know, but it would be do something or get defeated, basically, I think. Our production is globalised and therefore can't be... Half our stuff comes from China, for goodness sake. The stupidity of our leaders is amazing. Or the mendacity of them. Talking about Amazon's closure, of course they want to automate everything. And there are lots of jobs out there for AI or AI programmers, because they want to automate processes, companies. But of course, if you're doing that work, you are programming your colleagues out of jobs, and you're programming yourself out of a job ultimately. Is that okay? Because the powers that be are not showing signs of wanting to pay people money yet. A universal basic income is talked about, but it's not really happening. This situation may change in 5 or 10 years, but right now, when people lose their jobs, they lose their jobs. And in certain countries, like the USA, they pretty much lose their income as well. Where there's no workers' rights. I would never want to live there. They don't care about their citizens, and a lot of countries don't. But a community is supposed to be a community of people working together. But anyway, you either worship Mammon or you don't. I'm talking about the Great Reset as well. To reduce demand, one way which is being implemented, I've talked about it before, is this bijou housing boom. Bijou is a posh estate agent's word, makes it sound good, but what it means, if you're cynical, is small. So, like, in various places in London, I did 9 Elms, those are expensive apartments. I did a video in 9 Elms recently. But around here, say in the Brent Cross area, that's being redeveloped, and lots of small apartments are being built. In my walkabout video of last week at Welsh Harp Reservoir, in sort of November weather, I walked past at the beginning some of the new apartments. The thing is, the apartments are being built to cut demand. I think that's based on the United Nations Agenda 2030 protocols. So buildings are small, apartments are small anyway, and they are deliberately lacking in storage space. So rather than force people to cut their demand by drastic regulations and laws, you just build it in. So they have nowhere to store stuff, they won't have an incentive to buy it, because they'll only have to throw it away if they can't keep it somewhere. Like I keep all my junk in the loft, right? I'm going to get rid of it, I suppose. Shouldn't have got it in the first place, half of it, right? So it's being structured into people's lives, and with the Great Reset, the slogan is, you will own nothing and be happy, because the people who do own things will rent them to you. This is way more efficient for capitalists than making things. especially when resources are in short supply and expensive. Instead of making 50 gadgets, you make one and rent it out 50 times if it can be made to last. Now at the moment, capitalist gadgets are not made to last because they want you to buy them again and again. But when they're renting them out, they will be made to last because they won't want them to break, right? They want to keep renting them out, keep the costs down. You can buy it once for 50 quid, or they can rent it to you 500 times at 10 quid a piece. 10 quid a time. Say 10 quid a week, say. Bit like a Netflix or an Amazon Prime subscription, right? In a way, it's money for nothing. Having made the item, people can borrow it, then they give it back. And they'll always be living on the edge because they'll have their universal basic income, which will be just enough. They'll have an incentive to go and do some work, those who can, and others will be consumers of these rented items. Brainwashed on YouTube. Gameplay channels, hopefully. Let's Play channels, eh? Well, that's my thoughts, really, for the week. Hope you've liked that, and we'll now nip over to the YouTube AlphatucanaLetsPlay channel and watch something. Okay, like it, whatever. Subscribe. I really need some subscribers on that channel to start giving it some traction. I'm going to be uploading a lot of videos compared with this channel, which is just Alphatucana, because gameplay lends itself to that. But I can't do much in the way of video editing because I have a job. I don't have the time. So they are just full-length gameplay. At the moment, each episode is 30 minutes, but I'm thinking what I might do is make like the first episode of a series 30 minutes. And thereafter I will do them just as I play them. An hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, I don't know. Over time I might get around to cutting videos down and making like summary videos like some people do, so just the highlights. Tell me what you think. I don't know really, but I don't really have the time for that at the moment. I get home from work, I don't want to do anything, even gameplay sometimes. So Alphatucana Let's Play. Bye for now.